everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just got back home from trying to take some photos of the planets that are aligned, and I am about to freeze. Not that you could tell it in my tank top. However, as promised, I will be taking y'all through how I make my hot wassail drink for the winter solstice. And while we are at it, happy winter solstice yule, everyone! Stay tuned and you'll see what I put in it. Alright, what you're gonna need is a big pot. I love this apple cider from Food Line, and of course White House apple juice, fresh cloves, some cinnamon, you can't forget Captain Morgan, and orange juice. Now I use no pulp because I don't really care for the pulp in my wassail, but that's preference. And apples and oranges. Alright, I'm going to put y'all in my holder. Alrighty, now that I have my hands free, what you're going to do is take your apples and just cut them in half. I just got basic red apples. I think that's really a preference thing to whatever you like. And then you are going to open a brand new pack of cloves. Or technically if you already had some, I reckon you could use those too. Ooh, they smell good. Alright. So then you're going to take the apple and stick cloves all in it. Hopefully, yeah. I'll go, and then I'm going to go around it, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I have my apples done. Now, I prefer to do them on the inside. It just seems easier, but you can do them on the back side. You don't want too many, but you know, just space them in pretty good. And because I didn't buy quite enough for this project, I'll be using some from my earth cabinet to do the orange. Once you have your apple done, you're going to do the same thing to your orange, except don't cut it. Just start taking the clover and shoving it into your orange. Now this one's going to be a little more difficult because you got to push it through the skin. But it makes a very pretty ornament, or I think. Alright, I'm going to push these in and I will be right back. Alrighty, once you get that done, as I said, it can make a real cute ornament. Your fingers very well might end up looking a little like mine. They end up hurting some and you do make a mess, but it will be worth it. Alright, on to the little more fun part. You are going to need your apple cider. Yeah, your yum yum apple cider. Let's see. Make sure the camera can actually see what I'm doing. And maybe I won't lose count on how many cups I've put in here. 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. There is your apple cider. And then you will need orange juice. And I still shake my orange juice up even though it has no pulp. I think I shake most juices up. Anyway, alright. So then you put... Now sometimes you can actually buy the right size and don't have to measure everything out, which is what I did last year. But I waited to the last minute to buy my ingredients this year, so I'm having to measure. Alright, and I get the Tropicana orange juice. And then you get the big old thing of apple juice, the 64-ounce apple juice. And you go pour. And that just splattered in my face. Lovely. I'm gonna need a bigger pot because I have no room for much of anything. Anywho, you're going to get a spoon that I have to grab because I forgot. Here's my ladle. You can use a regular spoon or a ladle. Oh, as I'm trying to get around my camera. A ladle spoon. And stir it on up. And then you'll take your orange and just drop it in. Now my apples, I did end up cutting the cores out. They just didn't look quite appealing to me. So you just drop them right on in. And I have to get a bigger pot, so I'll be right back. Alright, we got the bigger pot. So now for the fun part. Let's see how much mess we can make. And my better half is being better at me, everything, because he is here helping me. Because if it was just me, I'd be made a mess like hell. So I'm going to dip my freaking apples and my little orange and put it in my new pot. And he is going to pour my juices in. That sounded perverted. Anyway. So make sure you have a big enough pot to accommodate this because it is a big recipe. Alrighty. So now I am going to stir it again. And we are going to add the second thing of apple juice. Now this is kid friendly. Or people who don't drink friendly for now. Now because I've got so much apple, I am gonna withhold about half of that for now. And then I buy cinnamon sticks from Food Line. You can go to the, not the spice section, but the Mexican section, for lack of a better word, and get these. They're just as good and a little bit cheaper than from the spice section. This has 4 in it, so we're going to use all 4. Ooh, they smell good. You just drop them in. And you give it a, oh, and I just splashed myself again. And you give it a stir. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit. See, that tastes quite appley to me. So I'm going to use a little bit more of my orange juice. Now, you might like the more apple flavor, and that's great. See, that's much better to me. Alright, now that you got all your ingredients in the pot, you're going to turn your stove on high and bring it to a simmer, and I will be back to show y'all. I do want to add, don't be alarmed if your cloves start to come out of your apple some. That is perfectly normal. While we're waiting for it to get frothy, I do want to add, you can taste it like I did, but keep in mind that the flavor will change once it gets warm. So get a base flavor, and then once it gets warm, you can always add more apple juice or orange juice or whatever you feel it needs. And as a side note, make sure that you wash your apples and oranges. I actually washed mine with some Dawn dish soap because you don't know who the hell's been touching it, you know, especially this year. So make sure you do wash your stuff before starting this. Guess I could have added that the first, you know, at the first of this video, but you know, common sense. So we'll be right back. Alright y'all, it's boiling. Alright, and since we're not actually cooking anything, I'm going to turn my stove eye down to about medium now. And it gets, oh shit, I'm about to boil over, which we definitely do not want. So now I'm going to stir. Alright. The foamy stuff on top is perfectly fine. It's just the juices and all. You still scoop it up. But once it starts to boil, turn your stove eye down to low simmer. Because, I mean, it's done. You're just heating it. And I turned mine almost all the way down. And because my mate loves his right now, I'm going to scoop him some. Alrighty. Well, we got Captain Morgan spiced rum. Really, any spiced rum will work. But we just prefer Captain Morgan. And you can measure your shot out or, you know, just eyeball it. We're going to have just a little bit of mine. Alright. And don't worry if your cloves have fallen out. It's whatever. As long as it's still there, it will be good. So now, you come over here, you give it a stir, and you ladle some nice hot fucking liquid into the cup with the spiced rum. I don't suggest drinking it right away because you'll burn the piss out of yourself. As much as I love it, you have to wait for it to cool. Or if you're like me, I'll get an ice cube and put in my cup. Now, if you're having a party, you can leave this on low and just let people get it on their own, or you can turn it off and put a lid on it now. Alright, and this is my hot wassail drink. Now, as much as I love it, I cannot take credit for the actual recipe, which I will link in the description, or I'll type in the description. I came across this particular recipe a few years ago, and I wish I could take credit, but again, I can't. Anywho, this is hot as a motherfucker, but if you make it yourself, enjoy, put your own twist on it, and if you find something you like better, comment in it, or comment to this video, and I would love to try all your Yule treats. Until next time, happy winter solstice and a happy Yule, and stay safe, but have fun.